It seems like we have the euros and pounds making some strong moves this morning. Yes, and we've been watching a couple of them. That's what we're going to be discussing today, being the final day of February. And of course, we're going to be going into a new month soon. It's a pleasure having you guys here. Trust you are all doing good. And of course, as we have this new day, there are, of course, new opportunities in the market for us to be able to take advantage of. So if you look at what we said not too long ago, the euros and pounds for now seem to be making the moves. And if you look very well for this one, the euro yen, you can see that it's an uptrend, first of all. As it's an uptrend, you should be able to clearly see the areas of interest. You have like a minor area here, but I won't be expecting to enter here because the risk to reward ratio will not be well balanced. So I'd like to see price from this euro yen drop to this area here of, you can see support. It wasn't really tested here as support. Sorry, resistance rather, resistance here. This is resistance, but it wasn't really tested here as support. So I'd like to see price come back to this area and then look for your trigger to enter and then take it back to these highs here. So if this happens, of course, at this area of support, you enter here, probably stop losses like this, so you can see that the risk to reward ratio is well worth it. This should be more than 1 to 2. Probably this should be about 1 to 4 or 1 to 5 by just eyeballing it, right? So this is what we have here for Euro JPY, and that's what we said concentration for today is on the euros and the pounds. We also have the Euro Australian dollar. You can see it's pretty much similar to the Euro yen. And if you are checking your charts, let's assume for Euro pairs, you check Euro JPY, Euro USD, Euro AUD, Euro CAD, Euro Swiss, and the rest Euro pounds, and then you notice, some similarities, then most likely it is based on euros. So it's always good for you to, have a look at the market, have a feel for the market, let the market, let it talk to you. It's always talking to you, but understand the language of the market, and then of course you should now be able to take advantage of it. Another thing I want to also mention that we always say you need to be aware of even before looking at the charts, right, is the calendar. So if you look at the calendar we have right in front of us, today being Tuesday, February 28th, and of course you can see that we already filtered, we did a filter here. We did a filter of only the high impact news so that we pay attention to them alone. You can see today we have CAD and then the dollar, right? We don't have anything for euros, we don't have anything for pounds, but you can see the moves. If you look very well, you should be able to see the moves. And we noticed this last week as well, right? If you watch the previous videos from last week. So it's not just about the news, it's also about what the market is doing. And what the market is doing, you will be able to easily see it on the charts. And that's what we have right in front of us on the charts, right? So speaking of the charts, let's cross back to the charts. Since we don't have anything on the euros and pounds for today on the scheduled news. So here is euro odd. Same thing here. This is a bit way too tight. Obviously, I would never take this, right? So I like to see price pull back to this area here. I can see I have my price alert here, and that's why we always say you do not need to stare at the market. Set your alert, your alarm, whether it's on the system or it's on your phone or watch or whatever. And when price gets to that particular area, or if it's the time of the day, right, that you normally trade, set your alert. And then, of course, you can be doing other things before then. So looking forward to price getting to this area here. Here will be a bit of a stretch for me, right, at least for this week. Right, looking for price to get to this area here, and then we enter, we take it back to these highs here. And then don't forget, we're looking at this based on the intraday for the Euro JPY that we just talked about, this Euro odd. And then for the rest, they're strictly for intraday, right? So look at the Euro card. Now the Euro card is looking rather different with respect to its trend. You can see this trend is a bit kind of messy, right? Where it started from here and then it's presently here. Quite right, if you join the two together, it's going downwards, but it's still rather messy. But even within the messiness, we can still see an area here, very important area that is, right? And if I were to do this for you, you'll see some form of support, resistance, 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 some little messy here, but still acted as resistance, support, support, resistance, and support. So if we can get back to this point here, we'd like to be a buyer and take it back to these highs. My price alignment is also here, right? I could as well maybe adjust that a bit lower, right? But I want it to be clearly away from the area, not too tight, because it might get close, might not even trigger and then push higher, right? But I want to see the price alert at an area far away from my area of interest, my place where I want to enter. So once it hits there, whether I'm sleeping or I'm doing something else or whatever the case might be, then I would come in good time and then check what's happening, right? So I don't need to stay at the markets. I've been doing this for years. And of course, the system I have works for me. And remember, it's meant to be a thing of passive and not, active trading, more or less. Okay, so this is the Euro card. Let's just speed this up. I'll just quickly give you the information. And this is Pound Chef. For the pound chef, you can see very much, similarities with respect to, if we go to the euro yen, you can see it's pretty much similar in euro odd. Pound chef over here, the same thing. We're looking forward to the price coming back to this area and then doing what? Taking it back to the highest here. Quite all right. This is for trend trading, by the way. But quite all right, if you are a counter trend trader, you can look for something that will give you that trigger to sell. The choice is yours, right? But for me, I'm more of a trend trader, and that's why you always notice that I'll be talking with the trend most of the time. And this one here, funny enough, this one here, I was watching this in this area, but as it hit hard, they didn't give a trigger and then dropped. So we're looking for shots over here. But even at that, it is still very much a viable area. Sorry, let me adjust this, my price alert just below here. So this is still very much a viable area where you can see what's happening now with respect to price. I also like to see that curve, not to here, this will be too tight, but rather to this point here, an entry over here, and then take it back down. So if you look very well within the craziness that's been happening here in this area, you can see that there's still an area of interest here and even higher as well, right? So always learn to map your chart based on your support and your resistance and simply wait. While waiting, you don't have to be staring at the market. What you can do, set alerts in one way or the other. When it beats you, you come back and then you attend to it. So for now, euros and pounds on the radar. Dollar, nothing yet. If anything pops up, maybe we could do another video today, or maybe worst case tomorrow, because I'm just trying to update everybody on what's happening live for opportunities, right? So possibly we could do another video even today, right? Or worst case tomorrow, if anything pops up for the dollar pairs. Remember, we have a key data coming up for dollar later today, and that happens to be the consumer confidence by 4 p.m. Nigerian time, which happens to be 3 p.m. 3 p.m. UK time, right? And of course, that time is also New York as well, right? So pay attention to your charts, let your charts do the talking, whether there's something happening out there based on the scheduled or breaking, everything will show on the charts at the end of the day. Look at this chart now. You can see this is a big candle, this is a big candle. That means that something happened based on fundamentals, so that we scheduled or breaking. But instead of going back into 15th of February or 21st of February to check on what happened, it's already shown on the chart. You have evidence that's on the chart. So at the end of the day, you will see everything on the chart. Being in tune with the news just helps you to be aware that there's volatility coming out and then you need to do the needful. Okay, so with that said, I need to do the needful now and then call it today. If this video was helpful, you know what to do. Share it, subscribe, hit the notification bell, comment if you have any questions, and of course, like the video. And of course, we'll continue to do more. We'll do more. Hopefully, as you can see, we're trying to do this on a daily basis just to give you heads up in good time. So I want to say thank you for joining. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Enjoy the rest of the day. Please trade safely. People are losing their accounts, losing their shirts in the market. Wouldn't want that for you. So if you have any questions, if you're interested in any mentorship or whatever the case might be, reach out. The Instagram handle is in the description below. and then other information too you'll find in the description below. So thank you guys. Enjoy the rest of the day, and goodbye for now. God bless.